Hey everybody, Bama Guitar Dude here, and today we're going to show you how to make some Southern style buttermilk cornbread. And this recipe I got from a good friend of mine, Alicia. Thank you very much. And I've modified it a little bit through the course of several months of making this, and we wanted to show this to you today. This cornbread has a very sweet taste to it, but here in the South we do not add sugar to our cornbread, okay? So this is a Southern style cornbread recipe, but the cornmeal that I use is buttermilk cornmeal, and it adds a little bit of a sweet taste to your cornbread. So let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a big bowl, you're going to need a cup, a measuring cup, a tablespoon, measuring spoon, you're going to need 2 eggs, you're going to need some salted butter, and I'll show you how much I use in a minute, whole buttermilk, some vegetable oil, and the cornmeal that we use is the White Lily brand, and it's the buttermilk type of cornmeal, and this is what gives it sort of a sweet taste. In fact, when it's making, it smells like pound cake. It's really, really good. But it's definitely cornbread. And then you want to use a cast iron skillet. This is a number 8, 10.5 inch unmarked Wagner skillet that I've restored. And this is a great way to keep your cast iron seasoned, is by making cornbread. And this one has a slight wobble to it, so it's perfect for making cornbread in the oven. So let's get started with mixing everything up, and I'll show you how you do that. Okay, so first step is you want to add your oil, your vegetable oil, to your cast iron skillet, and we're going to use roughly 4 tablespoons. Just dump it in there just like that right there. Almost done with this vegetable oil. Okay, and sometimes what I do is I will add a little bit of bacon butter, so grease left over from making bacon. Sometimes I'll dump that in there, just add a little bit of extra flavor, but I'm not going to do that today. We're just going to use vegetable oil, and you want to churn your oven to 450 degrees. So the idea here is you want to get this oil and this cast iron really, really hot before you pour your batter mix into the cast iron. So let's put that into the oven here, and let's get that guy going, and that's step number 1. Okay, step number 2 is you want to make up your cornmeal batter. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cups of cornmeal, like so. Okay, everything in this recipe is a measurement of 2s, okay? So we're going to do 2 cups cornmeal. We're going to add 2 eggs. That's one way to get it in there. Okay, and then 2 cups of whole buttermilk. Like that right there. And basically what you do is you just take yourself a spoon and you just start mixing all of this together, like so. Just get everything good and mixed up. And what we're going to do with the butter, what I do with the butter, and the way that I make my cornbread is I try to make it so that I have as little cleanup after I'm done as possible, okay? So I'm using 1 bowl the whole time. And what I do with my butter, when I add my butter, is I will take a slice of my butter and I'll put it in this bowl and I'll heat it up in the microwave to melt it, and then I'll pour my butter in, and then I'll pour some of the oil from my skillet into this, mix it all up, and then pour it into the skillet and then put it into the oven to bake. So we're just going to get this good and mixed up, and we'll bring you back when we're ready to do the butter and the oil from the skillet. So I've got my cornmeal, my batter all mixed up now, and I'm going to prepare my butter, and I use about 3 tablespoons. So I just cut a stick of butter like that right there, and of course peel off the paper. And I put that here in my bowl and put it here in my microwave. And you only need to heat this up about, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, and that's enough to melt the butter before you pour it into your batter as you're pouring in the hot oil from the skillet. Okay, so we'll bring you back when we're ready to mix all of the butter and the oil from the skillet together after we pull the skillet out of the oven. Okay, so the preheat cycle at 450 is done, but what I do to make sure that that skillet and the oil is red hot is I let it go for another 5 minutes, okay? So we're going to do a 5-minute countdown, and whenever it gets to about a minute, then I'm going to heat my butter up in the microwave, pour it into the batter, pull the skillet out, pour the oil from the skillet into the batter, mix it all up, pour the batter into the skillet, and put it back into the oven. Sounds like a lot of steps, but you'll kind of see how everything flows here in just a moment. Okay, so we got a minute to go on our timer. So what we want to do is we want to melt our butter. Just put it on 30 seconds and keep your eye on it. Turn that timer off. Yep, melts pretty quick. You don't want the butter to burn. We'll go ahead and take it out. There'll be a little bit of it left, and you pour that into your batter here. Okay. And now, I'll put this over here. Now let's pull the skillet out. And this is why I need somebody to help me film this, is because this skillet is really hot. So here we go. Pull this out. Okay. First thing you want to do is lower your oven temperature down to 400 degrees. And you can see the oil is kind of smoking a little bit. That's what you want. So let's pour a little bit of the oil in there. Okay, and it's going to sizzle like that. And now you just want to mix all this up really good. So you're mixing the oil and the butter and all that stuff into your batter here, into your cornbread. You want to get it good and mixed in. Be careful, Brianna, you don't touch that skillet now. It's wicked, wicked, wicked hot. So you want to get this mixed in really good. Okay. And now we pour it in, and this is the fun part. You can hear it sizzling. So by setting your oven temperature to 450 degrees, what you're really doing is you're starting the process of building that nice crunchy crust on the outside of your cornbread. Okay, so let's put this right here. You can hear it sizzling in the skillet. And so now what we want to do is we want to take our skillet, put it back into the oven, and we're going to set a timer for 30 minutes. And you'll let it cook for 30 minutes. And we will have cornbread perfection here in 30 minutes. Okay, so the 30 minutes is officially up. You can turn your oven off, and let's see what we got here. And there it is, golden brown on the top. And so what you can do, this is the moment of truth. There you go. Cornbread, no sticking in the cast iron. So let's, what I do to cut it up is I just cut it up into fours. You can tell already that it's got a nice crispy crust on it. Yeah, this is going to be good. Okay, so there we go. Flip it over like that. And let's split one up here. And it is very, very hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. But let's take a piece here and let's try it. Woo! Hot. Very good. One last thing. When you're done cooking, you can see all the oil that's left in your cast iron. So you can basically just wipe your cast iron down with a lint-free cloth, okay? All of your cast iron. This is how I keep my cast iron looking really good. You want to do the outside and the inside. Take that oil and just go all over your cast iron here. And then you can put it back in the oven and let that oil bake into your cast iron and you're good to go. One final tip, if you want to do a personal size recipe of this, you can take a 5-inch skillet and half the recipe in 1/2. So you use 1 egg, 1 cup, so on and so forth, and take your 5-inch skillet like this right here, and that'll make a personal size cornbread for you if you just want to make a smaller cornbread recipe. So that's it, guys. Southern style buttermilk cornbread. Bam and Guitar Dude, hope you enjoyed that. Take care.